One swipe from a bear can throw a heavy body clean off the ground. One pounce from a tiger can snap a neck in the space of a single breath. But when two bears crash in at once, driving the predator into the dirt and flipping the entire fight on its head, everything we think we know about the strongest begins to crack. This isn't just a battle of claws and teeth. It's a journey to answer one question. In the wild, who truly holds the power? Morning mist lifts slowly over the tropical forests of Asia. From the thicket, a Bengal tiger emerges. Sunlight brushes across its orange coat, every black stripe drawn like ink by nature's hand. It pauses, scenting the air, each step firm yet weightless. The tiger is the largest cat on Earth. A grown male can weigh over 250 kilograms and stretch nearly 3 meters from nose to tail. And yet it moves without a sound. Soft pads beneath its paws absorb every step, turning raw power into silence. After millions of years of evolution, the tiger has mastered the art of disappearance. Unlike lions, tigers live alone. Each one rules a vast territory, sometimes hundreds of square kilometers. They mark the borders with scent and claw marks on trees. Messages only another tiger can read. In this world, territory means life. In India's dry bamboo forests, tigers hunt spotted deer and wild boar. Across the grasslands of Nepal, they track buffalo. And in the frozen valleys of Siberia, the Amur tiger, the largest of all, faces bears in the snow. Wherever they live, the pattern never changes. Hide, approach, strike. A single leap can launch them 6 meters forward at over 50 kilometers per hour. In seconds, the forest falls silent again. But tigers are more than predators. They are guardians of balance. By keeping deer and boar numbers in check, they protect the forest from being eaten bare. Where tigers vanish, the jungle itself begins to fade. A mother tiger raises her cubs alone. She teaches them patience, stealth, and the rhythm of the forest. When grown, each must leave to find its own land, its own silence. Only about half will survive to adulthood. Yet each survivor carries the story of the species forward. Under the midday sun, a tiger cools itself in a stream. Unlike most cats, it loves water. It can swim for kilometers, powerful legs propelling it through the current. In the Sundarban's mangrove swamps, some hunt between tides where land and sea become one shifting world. No two tigers share the same pattern of stripes. Each is a fingerprint written on fur. Scientists now use hidden cameras to recognize individuals by those unique marks. And the images reveal hope, cubs returning to forests that had long been silent. Still, survival is never easy. As people push deeper into the wilderness, the tiger's realm shrinks. When forests fall, conflict grows. There are fewer than 4,000 left in the wild, a whisper of what once was. Yet across Asia, hope rises. In India, tiger numbers have nearly doubled in 15 years. In Nepal and Thailand, their roars echo again through restored forests. As the day fades, sunlight spills across the tall grass. A male tiger steps forward, its reflection rippling on still water. He pauses, gazing toward the forest, then moves on slow, powerful, eternal. He doesn't need to prove his strength. His very presence is proof of nature's power. Where there are tigers, there is life. And as long as that roar still rolls through the forests of Asia, nature still breathes with us. This is not just brute force. The grizzly's sense of smell is 7 times sharper than a bloodhound's. It remembers rivers, seasons, and trails as if the land itself lives in its mind. A half-ton beast, yet precise, patient, and almost calculating. How can something built for raw power move with such quiet intelligence? A giant footprint sinks deep into the wet mud. Rainwater pools inside the impression, silent proof that something powerful just passed. At the edge of Yellowstone Valley, thunder rumbles in the distance. A shadow moves through the mist, each step weighing half a ton, yet silent as drifting wind. The grizzly bear, a creature that doesn't need to chase to inspire fear. It pauses by the riverbank, breath steaming in the cold air. The surface stills, then explodes. One swing of its claw-precise, explosive turns the water white. A single strike forged by millions of years of evolution. The grizzly is the living emblem of North America's wilderness. From Montana to Alaska, it reigns over forests and valleys. When the winter snow melts, they emerge from their dens after months of hibernation, half-starved but alive. Their hunt begins again, scavenging deer carcasses, digging for roots, stealing honey, and fishing salmon from icy streams. With a nose 7 times more sensitive than a bloodhound's, a grizzly can smell death from over 2 kilometers away, a biological radar built for survival. Beneath that thick fur and lumbering gait lies an engineered machine of strength, 4 arms so powerful they can overturn boulders. When it stands upright, a male can reach nearly 3 meters tall. Yet most of its life isn't spent killing. 80% of its diet is plant-based grass, roots, berries, ants, honey. The forest feeds the beast, and the beast keeps the forest alive. Power and gentleness coexist in a single heartbeat. Summer floods the Lamar River. Salmon surge upstream, silver flashes breaking the current. A grizzly waits in silence, its eyes fixed on the water. Then movement. A single strike sends spray flying like shards of glass. Beside her, 2 cubs watch every move, learning how to hunt and how to fail. Knowledge here isn't taught with words, it's inherited through instinct, through patience, through survival. As autumn arrives, the blueberry slopes of Alaska turn purple. The bears feast endlessly, 30,000 calories a day. Their bodies swell with fat, a fortress against the winter ahead. In hidden dens, they enter a deep sleep. Heartbeat slowing to 8 per minute, body temperature falling close to 30 degrees Celsius. Scientists still marvel at how these creatures avoid muscle loss and bone decay for months. A biological secret that might one day change human medicine. Then spring returns, and with it, violence. Two males face off on the open plain. Their roars echo through the valley, muscles rippling, dust rising. When they clash, the sound is thunder itself. A single swipe could shatter bone, yet most battles end without death. In the wild, true dominance means knowing when to stop. At dusk, a mother grizzly leads her cubs along a quiet stream. The water mirrors the fading Sunday. Each step is measured, calm, deliberate. Nature's way of teaching patience: move slow, live long, strike only when needed. Night settles over Yellowstone. Mist gathers. Under the moonlight, the giant stands motionless, the wilderness made flesh, powerful, solitary, eternal. The grizzly's fatal swipe isn't just the strike of a hunter. It's nature's heartbeat, a reminder that survival itself is the purest form of strength. On the map, the Serengeti is just a yellow-green stain in northern Tanzania. But when you zoom in, a whole world appears. A honey badger ripping into tiny burrows. African wild dogs running in tight formation as if following an invisible playbook. Long lines of wildebeest pushing across the Mara River while the shadow of a crocodile twists below. And a lion resting on a dusty rise, just watching. Each species has its own way to stay alive. If you had to choose one smartest player in this survival game, which one would it be? When you pull back from that first question and look at the plains as a whole, you see a strip of life that runs from the Serengeti in northern Tanzania to the Masai Mara in southwest Kenya, stitched together by the muddy line of the Mara River. On a map, they're just names and colors. Down in the grass and in the riverbed, they're relationships that have been tested for millions of years. Along the ragged edge of the grassland, where thorn bushes grow low and the soil cracks in the heat, the honey badger appears. It isn't big. An adult weighs around 10 to 14 kilograms, about the size of a medium dog. Across its back runs a pale gray or white band over a black body, a moving warning sign that most of the savanna has learned not to ignore. Its skin is thick and unusually loose, so loose that when something bites down, the honey badger can twist inside its own hide and turn around to bite back. Its menu is flexible: insects, small rodents, bird eggs, lizards, and sometimes even venomous snakes. Observations in the wild suggest that a honey badger can take a serious dose of venom, collapse for a while, then wake up and go back to feeding. In ecological terms, it's a specialist at unlocking food sources that most other animals don't touch. Every so often, the honey badger wanders straight into lion or hyena territory. On paper, it looks like an easy target. In reality, many predators have learned that a wound from this little creature can mean days of pain and failed hunts. When a lioness tries to close in, the honey badger doesn't sprint away. It arches its back, bares its teeth and growls, ready to charge forward instead of retreating. In that moment, both sides are doing fast math. For the lion, is a small, foul-tempered meal worth the risk of infection and hunger later? Out here, survival isn't always about being the strongest. Sometimes, it's about being the one that simply isn't worth the trouble. If you were standing on that plane yourself, would you go after the difficult opponent, or walk away and look for easier meat? Farther north, across an invisible border into the Masai Mara, the language of hunting changes from solo to team play. This is the domain of the African wild dog. Each animal stands roughly knee-high to an adult human, with a slim frame, oversized rounded ears, and a patchwork coat that looks like natural camouflage. Their real power, though, is not in a single bite. It's in the way the whole pack moves. A pack can hold dozens of dogs, moving as if they share one mind. They call to each other constantly, swap leaders, rotate positions so no one tires too quickly. In many studies, African wild dogs show some of the highest hunting success rates of any large carnivore in Africa. The prey they select is often not the strongest animal in the herd. They watch for the old, the injured, the very young that has slipped behind. It looks brutal, and for the individual prey it is. But by removing weak animals, the dogs help keep herds of antelope, zebras, and wildebeest overall healthier. In that sense, the hunters that we label cruel are also doing some of the quiet work of keeping the grasslands in order. When you see a calf cut off from its mother, instinct says, this is wrong. But if you skip forward a few rainy seasons, the animals that remain are tougher, better able to survive drought, disease, and long migrations. Do you call the wild dog a destroyer, or a doctor without a degree? Follow the tracks of the dogs, and you eventually reach the bank of the Mara. This river runs off the Kenyan highlands into Tanzania, carving a dark brown wound through the golden plains. Each year, hundreds of thousands, sometimes over 1 million wildebeest join the Great Migration, along with zebras and Thompson's gazelles, chasing new grass where the rain has fallen. Fresh food is almost always on the far side. To reach it, they must cross fast-moving water and something else that waits just below the surface. The Nile crocodiles here can reach 5 or even 6 meters in length, and weigh several hundred kilograms. They don't sprint after prey over long distances. Their strategy is long-term investment, lie still for hours or days, spending almost no energy, just to strike once at the right moment. When that moment comes, the snap of their jaws is so fast the eye can barely follow. The force of a crocodile's bite is among the strongest of any living animal, yet the muscles that open the jaw are relatively weak. That's why a strong rope can hold a crocodile's mouth shut, but almost nothing can free you once it is clamped down. Not every attack works. Many wildebeest make it through, leaping over the worst currents or kicking free in panic. But the ones that are pulled under become fuel, not only for the crocodiles, but for fish, for scavenging birds, and for countless tiny decomposers that turn flesh and bone back into nutrients. Those nutrients, months later, can reappear as a flush of green grass in some distant valley. The image of an animal disappearing in a burst of white water is hard to watch. Look wider, though, and you see a closed loop that we almost never think about when we're staring at a beautiful slow-motion shot. Not far from the river, on a low ridge of dry earth, the lions are watching. Unlike most other big cats, lions are true social animals. A typical pride in the Serengeti Masai Mara system might include several related females, their cubs, and 1 or 2 adult males defending the territory. The females carry much of the hunting burden. Working together, they can bring down prey several times heavier than any one of them: Cape buffalo, zebras, even young giraffes. Even so, life at the top of the food chain is not easy. Hunt success rates for lions are often lower than people expect, sometimes only a handful of successful hunts among dozens of attempts. Lion cubs are even more fragile. In some long-term studies, a large share of cubs never reach adulthood because of hunger, disease, rival predators, or simple accidents. When the pride has to cross a stream, or a shallow stretch of river, the cubs paddle after their mothers, shivering and wide-eyed, with no idea what lurks beneath the surface. They only know to follow the moving patch of yellow fur in front of them. Every step a lioness takes in that water is a strategic choice. Move quickly to reduce the chance of crocodiles, but not so quickly that the smallest cubs are left behind. Seen through the lens of behavior, a pattern emerges. The honey badger leans on tough skin and reckless confidence. The wild dog leans on speed and teamwork. The crocodile leans on ambush and patience. The lion leans on group strength and hard-earned experience passed from one generation to the next. Each species has chosen a different path to stay alive, but all are bound by the same rules of energy, risk, and opportunity. Now imagine erasing one of these players from the picture. No wild dogs culling the weak, no crocodiles limiting how many animals make it across the river, no lions holding buffalo and zebra numbers down. The system wouldn't collapse overnight. But slowly, the fine-tuned balances would start to slip. Herbivore numbers could surge, stripping the grass bare. Disease could spread more easily through overcrowded herds, soil might erode faster, rivers could run quieter and emptier. The images we take for granted today would turn into something you only see in old footage. As humans, we carry an advantage that no animal on these plains has: the ability to see the big picture, to link cause and effect, to imagine futures before they happen. That advantage comes with a cost. When you put your phone down or close your laptop, it's easy to forget the honey badger under the thorn bush, the wild dogs in the mara, or the crocodile under the brown water. But every choice we make, to clear or protect a forest, to tolerate or fight poaching, to demand or ignore sustainable tourism, casts a vote on how long these scenes will continue to exist. In a world where predators and prey have held a fragile balance for millions of years, the last question isn't really for them at all, it's for us. If one day you returned to the Serengeti and there were no pounding hooves, no spray of water at the river crossings, would you call that the progress of our species, or the greatest loss we ever chose to accept? Across the Serengeti plains, dust erupts into the morning light. A herd of gazelles explodes forward, swift as wind. Behind them, golden shadows crouch low in the tall grass. Every leap, every heartbeat, holds the razor edge between life and death. A roar tears through the silence, spilling dawn itself. This is the realm of lions, Africa's supreme predators. Yet even kings must choose their prey. Which 5 animals have shaped their reign across millennia? The Serengeti, stretching across Tanzania and Kenya, is one of Earth's fiercest natural arenas. Here lions rule, not by speed or stealth alone, but by unity. Unlike the solitary leopard or cheetah, their power lies in the pride. At sunrise, lionesses spread out, eyes fixed on the smallest twitch of movement. Their first target, the Thompson's gazelle. Fragile, alert, only a few dozen kilos in weight. They live in tight herds, wired for flight. With bursts that reach 60 kilometers an hour, they can outpace most hunters, yet teamwork changes the equation. A juvenile straying too far, an elder slowed by fatigue, those become the meals that sustain a pride generation after generation. Further north, near the Grumeti River, zebra herds drift cautiously to water. Black and white stripes blur into dazzling confusion, a living illusion. But isolation breaks the spell. A single zebra caught apart becomes a clear target. They're powerful creatures, one kick can shatter bone. Still, the prize is worth the gamble. A single adult zebra can feed the pride for days. Making the risk one lions return to again and again. At the wetlands near Lake Ndutu, the sound of buffalo carries like thunder. Half-ton beasts with sweeping horns. Their presence alone commands respect. For lions, they are both prey and peril. A kill requires coordination. Some lions harass from the rear, others circle to block escape. But a single misstep invites disaster. A charging buffalo can cripple or kill in seconds. It is a hunt of courage, where success means days of abundance, and failure means blood in the dust. falls over Terran gyre. From burrows and shadows emerge warthogs. Small, stubborn, unpredictable. They dart in zigzags, tusks flashing, diving for safety at the first sign of danger. For lion cubs, warthogs are training ground fast, fierce, and wily. For adults, they are quick meals, crucial when larger prey is scarce. Their risk is lower, their reward smaller, but in the rhythm of survival, every catch matters. Then comes the Great Migration. Along the Mara River, straddling the border of Tanzania and Kenya, wildebeest move in endless tides. Hundreds of thousands surge across. Bawling, stumbling, colliding, chaos fills the air. In that storm, the weak and the clumsy fall behind. Lions wait. One bite to the throat ends the panic, and a bounty of flesh follows. For the pride, the migration is not just a hunt, it is harvest. A season of plenty in a land of hunger. Hunt after hunt, victories mingle with defeat. Lions succeed only about 30% of the time. Yet persistence, patience, and teamwork have kept them atop Africa's food chain for millennia. Overhead, vultures spiral down. They will arrive after the kill, ensuring nothing is wasted. The circle of life is brutal, but complete. As the Serengeti burns gold in the setting sun, a lone male stands atop a rise. His mane whips in the wind, eyes scanning herds that stretch to the horizon. Each hunt is a wager. Thompson's gazelles, zebras, buffalo, warthogs, wildebeest, 5 favored prey, 5 measures of skill and survival. On this harsh stage, the king still rules. But for how long can his throne remain secure? On a low rise along the Rio Grande Valley in New Mexico, a Roadrunner flares the dark patch on its back to drink the first light, then launches on legs, not wings. X-shaped footprints stitch the sand. The menu runs to scorpions, centipedes, rattlesnakes. How does a small, ground-running bird rule a landscape built on venom, and what timing lets it slip past hollow fangs in a single breath? Dawn settles over North America's dry belt, the Sonoran Fringe, reaching toward the Rio Grande Valley and the edges of the Chihuahuan Desert. The chill of night lifts. A Roadrunner stands on the sandy lip of a dry wash, flaring the dark patch on its back to drink the first light. A light breeze threads the creosote bushes. Insects murmur under mesquite. Short steps begin, the long tail working like a rudder, a neat line of X-shaped tracks stitched into the sand. It looks calm, but every crack in the gravel stirs with life. A whiptail lizard, a desert scorpion, a red centipede, even a rattlesnake warming beneath a sunlit rock. Here, morning is gold eat before the heat and other hunters wake. Biologically, the Roadrunner uses sunbathing as a charger. After nightfall, it lets body temperature drop a few degrees to save energy. The first light brings it back to operating speed without burning precious calories. Zygodactyl feet 2 toes forward, 2 back bite into loose ground, and those X-tracks make pursuit harder by hiding direction. The light climbs, heat shimmer begins to curl over the stones. The Roadrunner hunts by sea, burst, finish. A lizard flashes. The neck tucks for half a beat, then the bird snaps forward, the beak striking clean as a finger snap. A quick swallow, and it runs on. At the edge of an ocotillo clump, a scorpion lifts its tail through leaf litter. A flick of the eye. The bird changes angle to cut it off, drives the bill into the last segment where the sting sits, then slams the prey against the sand a few times to neutralize before swallowing. Along the thicket's rim, a dry rattle lights up the snake is close. The Roadrunner shortens stride, drops a shoulder, slides left as if testing a brake line. Between barbed chawla, it holds distance and waits for a scene. In hard numbers, a rattlesnake strike lasts under 1/10 of a second. Venom needs time to diffuse through tissue. The Roadrunner's answer is to shrink contact time toward 0. Hit a vital point. Exit immediately. Give the toxin no window to work. By noon, the ground glows, wind combs sand into thin streamers. At the edge of a dry wash near the Gila River, a western diamondback shows itself, body coiled, head lifted. The rattle beats like dry rain. The Roadrunner circles wide, tail flicking to stabilize, eyes pinned to the neck. It feints right, cuts across the left shoulder. The snake bites air. The bird pivots, makes a short hop, clamps the bill just behind the skull, and is gone before the coil can close. Sand sprays. The tail kicks like a spring, the body spins around the pinned foot. Third pass, fourth, each beat like a jump cut, approach, land, break contact. When the snake surges forward, the bird pops onto a low rock, turns 90 degrees, drops back to gravel and goes for the nape again. Slaps of hide on stone ring out. After several rounds, the snake's muscles lose tone, the black tongue withdraws. The bird lines the head for a clean swallow. If the snake is too large, it tears sections and ferries them to a thorny hide. Danger crosses the scene in a separate thread, soft footfalls of a coyote on the slope. The Roadrunner hugs the chawla's shade, sprints, carves through a narrow slot, spine snag fur but slide off feathers. The threat fades, and the duel resumes. Field notes show that roadrunners sometimes work in pairs on a snake. One distracts, the other strikes the weak point, but most finishes are solo, built on speed, angle, and the habit of hit and clear. Physiology helps. A nictitating membrane flashes to guard the cornea from spines and flying grit. The long tail acts as a stabilizer, letting the bird change direction almost instantly without losing drive. Water is scarce, so most intake comes from prey. Salt glands near the nares crystallize the excess, keeping the balance right. The sun tilts honey-colored, heat drains from the ground. The rattlesnake lies still at the gravel's edge, beaten by timing and speed. The roadrunner shakes dust from its plumage and listens. The wind shifts. Far off, a low call from another bird on the rim of the Rio Grande marks a boundary. It picks the last scraps, slips across the open to safer thorn. With dusk going violet, the bird hops to a low perch to roost. Metabolism eases. Body temperature dips again to save tomorrow's fuel. Below, the mirage fades, but fresh X tracks remain on the sand like hurried questions. The desert passes no verdict, it sets terms. If, on some day, speed drags for half a beat and venom gains half a second to spread, does the balance tip, or does perfect timing still keep the roadrunner on the safe side of the line? Saltwater crocodile. Salt glands arm it for the open coast. Nile crocodile. Pressure-sensing pits ring its jaws, reading the faintest ripple on Kenya's Mara River. Conical teeth to pierce and hold. A skull like armor, jaw adductors coiled like a spring. From Adelaide River, Northern Territory, to the banks of the Mara, whose design delivers the hardest bite on Earth. Dawn on the Adelaide River, Northern Territory, Australia. A thin skin of mist over mangrove roots. The water lies flat. A dark log drifts along the mud edge, only the eyes above the surface watching the cattle track. Far off, gulls rasp. Tide is rising. The saltwater crocodile settles exactly on the lip between shallow and deep, throat sealed by a palatal valve so it can open its mouth underwater without choking. Mud dusts the snout, but the jawline is studded with tiny pressure-sensing pits that read the faintest ripple, a footfall no wider than a breath. Stillness, but strung tight like a bow held at full draw. Salt glands in the tongue help it tolerate brine, letting it range from the river mouth to the surf without losing water. Wind shifts. The air tastes of mud and salt. Breathing slows. Peaceful frame, loaded lines. Across the continent, the sun already rides high over the Mara River in Masai Mara, Kenya. The sandbank is carved with zebra and antelope tracks. Beneath the brown surface, driftwood backs hold formation in a steady eddy. Nile crocodiles float with bellies up, jaws slightly open to dump heat. No sound. Dry wind brushes the grass, dust lifts, a zebra herd ghosts the bank. Rhythm here is migration, not tide. Each season, tens of thousands must cross. Underneath, jaw adductors wrap the skull like bundled rope. Conical teeth stand even and hard. Two far-flung scenes share the same heavy silence. Water smooths the bank. A single leaf spins. Minutes pass. Nothing moves, which only sharpens everything else. A stronger gust rakes the mangroves at Adelaide. Ripples break the glaze. A young feral pig steps down, licking a salt line on rock. The saltwater crocodile drives its tail in a hard crescent and launches, then drops like a spear. The wide head locks just behind the shoulder. The snap sounds dense and slick, like iron shutting. Mud and spray explode. It doesn't chew, it holds, then spins a death roll to tear and ruin balance. In a large individual, bite force can reach about 16,000 newtons for a flashing instant. But the real killers are angle and contact. The palatal valve closes, The animal drags its prey over the drop-off. Mud smears fly free, showing the dark slate of the scales. On the bank, a long slide mark inks the scene. On the Mara, the chatter of birds drowns under hoofbeats. The zebra surge down, water plates into white discs of foam. A huge Nile crocodile bursts from bank shadow and hooks the last zebra at the flank. Another clamps a leg. The whole mass tilts, like a tree bent by wind. They don't need to crush. They only need to hold and turn. Others slide aside to give the hunters space in the brown churn. In that chaos, those pressure pits along the jaws read escape lanes through micro-ripples tactile vision. Big adults often deliver 13 to 14,000 newtons. When several animals latch on, the combined pull is worse than numbers on paper. Current rips hooves loose, deep mud sucks. All the advantages of land vanish when a body is half floating, half stuck. A brief rain squall darkens Adelaide's water. The saltwater crocodile has already hauled the kill into a tight eddy where a fallen trunk makes cover. One more roll, the slab tears free and goes down cold. Inside the stomach, small stones and grit help stabilize and grind. The crocodile tilts its muzzle, then hides the rest beneath the log for the next tide to clean. Energy must pay back the days of waiting on near zero burn. As a cold-blooded hunter, it shifts speed with sun and wind, spending only when payoff is clear. On the Mara, shouting thins into ragged breathing. The zebra sinks. The crocodile opens just enough to change grip without flooding its throat. The valve does the work, then closes and levers again. New arrivals take what's left. There's no law of equal shares, only opportunity. When the herd pulls away, the river calms. Brown circles unwind and disappear. On the sand, a few white-black hairs and bands of foam. The hunt ends as it began, inside a patch of opaque water. Evening draws in over the top end. Egrets return. Frogs click. A saltwater crocodile drags up to bask, warming the gut for digestion. Now the head shows clearly, a broad, heavy wedge of skull that gives strong leverage to closing muscles. A broken tooth will be replaced by one already growing beneath. The arsenal refreshes all life long. Pale scars stripe the back territory disputes, especially on the spring tides. Nests are mounded high with dry grass and leaves. Temperature inside decides sex in the hatchlings. Hot years can skew the balance. Biologists watch that curve closely. Night on Masai Mara. Moonlight drifts the surface, silvering the backs of crocodiles that lie like statues. Far away, antelope call each other low, urgent. A ranger's light slides the bank, freezes on pairs of eyes. Rest hours, but not safety. Crocodiles also contest access to the best bends, where fallen trees carve suction and prey funnels. Next morning, the bay near Darwin is calm. On the fisherman's radio, saltwater crocodiles out beyond the surf line, riding tide corridors, sometimes crossing narrow island channels. Tolerance for salinity opens the menu from mangrove creeks to the shore break, even sea turtles or small sharks when chance aligns. Downstream on the Mara, in slower, clearer water, the pattern flips. A big Nile crocodile ignores small fish and holds the ambush slot for the migration. Every choice runs on energy math intake versus spend. Miss once and you may go hungry for days. The winner at Adelaide is the saltwater crocodile. Short, decisive bite, heavy force, clean angle. The winners on the Mara are several Nile crocodiles working a moment when current wrecks all footing. If you frame it as a record among living animals, the crown for peak bite force measured so far rests with the saltwater crocodile, with giant individuals posting very high numbers. The Nile crocodile sits just behind, and in the wild, a massive Nile can outrank a smaller salty in the only metric that matters that day: size in the moment. Numbers give us a summit. The field gives us context, body size, bite angle, rock or mud, salinity, even wind. Night wind skims the Adelaide shallows back to glass. On the Mara, dust lifts again, another crossing coming. Two worlds, one hunting blueprint, paired by deep time. In that opaque water, what truly calls life or death, before the jaws shut the bite record on a graph, or the half second of perfect timing the eye can't catch.